What's going on, everyone? I hope you're doing well on this, cold and rainy Saturday, at least for me here in Wisconsin. Uh, I thought I would do a video on, what might be considered a correction. I don't know. I just don't know. The situation keeps getting weirder and weirder. So I put out a video a couple days ago on the Stan Lee article that came out that alleged elder abuse and, amongst other things, people taking advantage of him in his old age, seeing him just completely out of gas at autograph signings, being told how to spell his own name. There's just, my eyes do not deceive me. We have eyes. What's the saying? You have eyes, use them, right? So when the original document came out, it seemed pretty solid, especially because it was backed up by a court document talking about these certain things about his daughter, JC, who I incorrectly underaged in her 50s, now in her 70s, I think late 60s, taking advantage of him and actually attacking him. And he then came out with fire, as much fire as I've seen him have in a long time, until another video that I saw yesterday denying these claims. I don't know. I mean, I had a grandma before she passed in her late 80s who would, bless her heart, probably have said anything to a camera if somebody said to her, like, hey, can you just do this? It would really help me out. She had nieces and nephews showing up at her house, getting her to write checks that she didn't have money for. They would talk her into helping them out with money, and my dad eventually had to take over her checkbook because the bloodsuckers, her own nieces and nephews, would show up at the home and get her to write them checks. So I'm so skeptical of these videos because, I mean, I guess I'm not there. I don't know how far we have to, how much truth or how much evidence we need, to be convinced, but I just don't know who's telling the truth. And then another video came out, I think yesterday, where Stan Lee is freaking pissed. He is pissed.
Hey, this is Stan Lee, and I'm calling on behalf of myself and my friend, Kia Morgan. Now, you people have been publishing the most hateful, harmful material about me and about my friend Kia. Well, I want you to know I'm going to spend every penny I have to put a stop to this and to make you sorry that you've suddenly gone on a one-man campaign against somebody with no proof, no evidence, no anything, but you've decided that people are mistreating me and therefore you're going to publish those articles. I'm going to get the best and most expensive lawyers I can, and I want you to know, if you don't stop these articles and publish retractions, I am going to sue your ass off.
And another interesting thing happened since his video came out. My original video going over the court document was throttled. There's no other way to describe it. It went from getting 5,000 views an hour. On a dime, it went down to 50 to 100. There's no question. Everybody knows how YouTube views go. You kind of go up, and then you come down, and then you level off. Well, I was at a peak, and then I fell off a cliff. There's no question in my mind that that video was throttled, that somebody at YouTube is at least backing Stan Lee. Now, maybe Stan Lee has some friends and is like, hey, get ready of these videos talking about the abuse. I don't know. I don't want to go too tinfoil hat here on a Saturday, but he had another video come out where he's literally threatening to sue TMZ for publishing articles covering what is a court document, a notarized document, as at least dictated or at minimum signed by Stan Lee, about his daughter burning up tens of thousands of dollars a month on credit cards, about an incident where she in her 60s attacked him and his wife physically in their 90s. Now, he has not come out to specifically deny that claim. Now, I don't know. I'm at the point now where I've seen enough elderly behavior, good meaning elderly behavior. When I talk about my grandma, she was a people pleaser, just like Stan Lee. She just wanted people to be happy. She didn't care if it made her look bad or if she necessarily agreed or disagreed with something. If she thought genuinely it would help somebody to do something like record a vertical video, cell phone footage of saying, well, nah, this never happened. Don't worry about it. She would lie. My grandmother would have lied, and I'm sure there are millions of people out there. I would probably do it. If it was to like save a family member or something, and if it just made me look bad, I'd probably do it. I don't know. I'm not in that situation. Certainly, I'm not 95 years old with a sack that is completely empty of fucks to give. So I don't know who to believe. I mean, it seems like with the throttling of my video, some of this counter evidence coming out, at least YouTube is believing it, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's like one of those situations where you have like Stockholm syndrome. He feels bad for the people who are abusing him. It's his daughter. How could I blame him for it? I don't know if I want to cover the Stan Lee situation anymore after this because it's just so sad. And every time I see him signing autographs and looking sick and doing these creepy like cell phone videos where somebody's obviously holding up a cell phone, distributing statements. I don't know. What do you think? What do you believe? Do you think here's what we're faced with, in my opinion. And again, sorry for the really casual nature of this video, but I do feel like if I'm wrong, I should correct it or at least present the counter evidence. That is what's right. He's come out now 2 or 3 times trying to correct various parts of this behavior. There are certain things that are undeniable, that his caretaker stole his money, that someone stole his blood and used it to sign comics. These are known. Whether or not Stan Lee denies them, they are factual. So there's already evidence of him trying to deny stuff that clearly did happen. But maybe it's none of our business. Maybe it's just not. Maybe we just need to leave it alone. I don't know. It's weird. We've seen, again, on one hand, we have some lawyer making up some fake document entirely fabricated that Stan Lee then was tricked into signing. On the other hand, we have a situation where somebody's really old, there's a lot of money involved, and we have a frame of reference. We have a frame of we have a body of evidence that this happens. Let me tell you a brief anecdote from when my grandmother died. We were at the funeral, and when she went, she had dementia. It was her time when she passed. I didn't shed a tear, even though she was mine and my sister's babysitter growing up. I loved my grandma H very, very much, but when she did pass, it was her time. She was not the same person. I did not shed a tear at her funeral. I was relieved for her to have her suffering ended. Seeing somebody in that state late in their life where they don't know who you are, they're afraid of you, they look at you like they don't know you, it's no way to go. And there were a lot of people crying at her funeral. And my dad, who is not a man of many words, but who took care of her in the end for the last 20 years. He took her grocery shopping every Friday, he managed her checkbook, and he had 10 brothers and sisters, okay? And he was the only one that stepped up and took care of her. And he said to me, I remember on the day of her funeral, something along the lines of, look at everyone who's standing there crying. These are the same people who got her to write them checks and took advantage of her in the end. That is very powerful, and it was totally true. It was entirely true. My dad did not shed a tear that day, although I've never seen him cry, because he had made his peace with it long before that, and he knew on that day that he had done everything he could to help her out. The people that were truly sad were the ones that took advantage of her in the end. So I don't know. I've seen this sort of thing happen firsthand, but I wanted to at least present some of the evidence to try and, look, if you believe that he's telling the truth, great. If you don't, okay, maybe this will just be the last I talk on it, unless something else major happens. But I hope you have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to be notified the next time I upload a video, make sure you subscribe and take a moment to turn on notifications. If you want to support the cause of this channel, it survives because of the amazing generosity of those that choose to back me on Maker Support. The link is in the description, and hopefully you'll consider backing today.